You're scrolling, drifting through the endless static of the algorithm, waiting for the signal to cut through the noise. Consider, if you will, that you just found the frequency. You've just stepped off the timeline of the everyday, into the space where the forgotten history and the hidden truths finally touch down. There's the story you know, and then there's the airspace we're about to enter. Check your coordinates, because you're heading towards the landing point. Welcome back, viewers. Today's story, The Silhouette. Picture, if you will, a bitterly cold evening in Cabin Creek, West Virginia. The year is the late 1940s. It is a tough, unforgiving coal mining town, and living in a small, crowded home is a boy named Jerome. Jerome is not what you would call a natural athlete. In fact, he is frail. He is terribly skinny, so small for his age that he often needed vitamin injections just to keep his strength up. Compounding his physical frailty is a crushing shyness born from a deeply troubled and abusive home life. For young Jerome, the world inside his home was a place of fear, but the world outside was a different story. Nailed to a neighbor's storage shed was a makeshift basketball hoop. Beneath it was no hardwood floor, just a patch of dirt. That turned into thick, clinging mud whenever it rained or snowed. But it was here that boy found his sanctuary. Day after day, long after the sun dipped below the Appalachian Mountains, Jerome was shooting. In the rain, in the sleet, in the freezing snow, until his hands cracked and were bleeding. He wouldn't allow himself to go inside for dinner until he had made a certain number of shots in a row. He practiced his form obsessively, stripping away every unnecessary movement until his jump shot was a thing of mechanical, repeatable beauty. He was quite literally running away from his life and running towards perfection. Well, the boy grew up. He finally shot up in height, and the flawless form he had forged in the West Virginia mud carried him far. It carried him to the state championships. It carried him to the university, and then eventually all the way to Los Angeles to play professional basketball. He became a star, and even a legend. But success did not cure the boy's inner torment. He was plagued by a relentless, consuming perfectionism. He reached the absolute pinnacle of his sport, playing for the championships year after agonizing year, only to lose. 6 times in the 1960s he reached the finals, and 6 times he went home empty-handed. His heartbreak was so profound he would often sit in the dark for those days after the season ended, refusing to speak. Now turn the page to 1969. The professional basketball league the young man played for was facing an identity crisis. They were fighting off a rival league and needed a way to market themselves to the nation. They needed a symbol, something iconic, something purely distinctly basketball. They hired a brand consultant named Alan Siegel. Siegel was poring through the archives of a sport magazine, searching for inspiration when a single photograph caught his eye. It was a picture of a player driving hard to the basket, dribbling with his left hand, his body a perfect, dynamic silhouette of athletic grace and unwavering focus. Siegel didn't want a logo that represented one specific team. He wanted a logo that represented the very essence of the game. He took the photograph, traced the outline, filled in the solid white, and placed it against a backdrop of patriotic red and blue. For over 50 years, the league has officially refused to acknowledge who the man in the logo is. They say it is a universal symbol. They don't want to pay royalties, you see. But Alan Siegel knows, and now you know. The little silhouette, the red, white, and blue emblem, recognized in every corner of the globe, stitched onto billions of dollars worth of jerseys, hats, and sneakers. is the permanent outline of a frail, abused kid from West Virginia coal town who just wanted to shoot hoops in the mud until he felt safe. Jerome Jerry Allen West, the man who didn't just play the game, but became the game. And whether you realize it or not, this is The Landing Point. Thank you for watching today, The Landing Point. Our stories come out Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, so you can always catch our latest story. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Roadrunner Real Estate. They're a full-service real estate company that can help you with both your real estate, residential and commercial needs, both buying and selling and leasing for the commercial side. If you haven't done so already, please go out to our YouTube page and subscribe so you can get our latest stories that come out. If you want our latest updates, please go to our Facebook page and follow and like that. And then for those of you that enjoy just listening to stories when you're out on the drive, we do have our podcast too that you can hear the same stories. Thank you for listening to today's story, and we'll catch you next time.